Yeah, many thanks for staying with us. A very warm welcome to the main interview segments of New Dawn right here on the People's Telly. And this morning we have a vital topic to discuss. Of course, schools resume for the 2024-2025 academic session amid rising inflation and economic challenges. So that would be our focus. We're looking at back to school for new academic session. And our guest this morning is Dr. Gabriel FASANU, a school administrator. You're welcome to the program.
That's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm not alone. Dominic Agbera. Dominic.
Yes, good morning, and of course, welcome to the program, sir.
My pleasure too.
Let's feel the pulse, really, of the people, and also you, considering the current situation in the country and the fact that schools would be resuming. What's your thoughts, really? I mean, we've heard and seen reports of parents lamenting, you know, the difficulties really that lie ahead of the school resumption. What's your thought as far as this is concerned?
Right. Thank you very much. Now, a couple of weeks before we resume, before today, we had a meeting with the parent-teacher association, and we are trying to see how do we survive as a school, and try to give them a kind of insight that we likely jack up the school fees. And we realized that it wasn't a welcome development, and and so well, as a school, because we had that, and we also did some other environmental scanning and all that, we decided to also step down school fees increments, thinking that at least let's give them some time, and let's see what we can do within our own environment, and judging from the fact that we can still survive a little, although it's a very tough thing. So we decided as a school not to even go into increasing school fees this time around.
Now, is this, I mean, you are speaking for your own school, right?
Yes.
And I understand that private schools actually have association. At that level, is there a decision that has been reached which all private schools would actually be following as far as jacking up tuition fees?
The only thing is that our board believes that we should do environmental scanning, and our school is a church-based school. The little way we let that missionary thing come up is rendering the service, really, although not at a loss, because we have to pay salary, and take home of staff should also be able to take them home. Makes us to feel that most schools, most private schools that I know that I also have friends as they have done that, but we just said that it can also affect our enrollment, and the parents' mind should be prepared. And some of the promises that the government has made to increase wages have not actually come to through, has not come to reality. And so we just feel that we should just manage ourselves, and maybe next time, by the time we can have a little jack up. But generally, the feelings getting from everywhere is that the thing has been increased. A couple of them, I spoke with a couple of them, and they mentioned that they have jacked up their school fees.
Now, yeah, and that's the situation really, because a report has it that yes, most private schools have raised their fees between 50 and 70%. Of course, transportation costs by 100%, because we all belong to the same economy. And those that have not jacked up their fees, well, they will have to, because well, surging inflation everywhere. These fees, they will definitely withdraw their awards. So how concerning, or how disturbing, or how challenging are these concerns?
Yes, like I mentioned, the reality is that we can't get the petrol has increased. What we just did is to make sure that a portion that takes care of the fueling of the bus, the transportation, something was moved up to be commensurate with because we have about 5 buses that applied the road. There's no, the school fees is left, but the transportation, the bill for transport is meant to reflect the current reality. And so it's either you bring your ward to the boarding school, or you decide to put him in day school and bring him to school. But once you want to use our school bus, because we collect fuel from NNPC and all that, gas station, and we have to make sure that we don't run at a loss. So it's reflecting. There's no how it's reflecting. And some of the parents who also engage other transporters, they are also saying that they are giving them a new bill, and that's the current reality. But in a way, for schools that have resumed, they know that it will affect the enrollment. It will drop, and eventually it will lead to more students out of school, which was a concern. And that's, I think my PhD, was also on that, educational development, the federal unity schools and all that. That what can make education to be developed. When we have more out of schools, it's a disadvantage to the society, and it will not be better for it.
So what is the way out, of this? Is there anything, because of course we have an association of private principals of private schools. Is there anything you're telling the government now to do, for you, or maybe the use of technology may also come into place somewhat?
Yes, the area I want to come in there is gym was gradual, but now it's coming to us, and it's too scorching. It's too the effect is too much, and it's affecting. We are so dependent on fuel that once there's a hike, it affects every sector. I mean, everything. The prices of everything will go up, and it's not that way that the wages will go up. So currently, some of them are considering the option of those whose work are far away are considering the option of looking for a nearby school. Some of them are looking for government school because it's going to affect the private school. When they look for private school, they're not looking at, before they're looking at quality and others, but now they are looking at what they can affordability, what they can afford. Because even apart from paying rents, bills and all that, people have dependents, and all these have effects. So the only want to appeal to the government is that if there's a way that they can make the suffering of the masses to be reduced in terms of maybe the palliative is not actually working. And so if they can judge the pump price and the others, so that although it will be like the first one that is gone is back, but if they can do anything that is not the effect will not be too noticed in the other sectors. I mean, the generality of the masses. And so if they are helping
on the part of for the new resumption, and then an ideal school really should be put in place.
All right. The first thing I have to mention is making sure the school is ready to receive. From the entrance of the school to the cutting of the lawns, the grasses, trimming of the flowers, and making school, at the point of entry, the parents will know now this school is ready to resume. Making sure that the dormitory is painted and all that, because environment has a lot to do in stimulating learning, and that's very, very key. And so if that is not like our own now, we coming in fully tomorrow. I just finished a prayer meeting with my staff, and we'll be having a meeting in the afternoon after, and getting their food ready. The kitchen and the dormitories have been prepared for resumption and all this. And the teachers to prepare their lesson notes because classes begin tomorrow. We also, for the new students that are coming for the first time, we do what's called an orientation program. That the first time living their parent. So when I go to see my daddy, I go to see my mommy, they psychologically and emotionally they have to be prepared. That this place, even though it's home away from home, it's not exactly home. Where you put your shoe here, you go about next 1 hour, you still meet there. But in a school setting, somebody will just use it and play ball. Because you look for it around some meters. And some people will be careless, they can some of these small things to wash their things and all this. Try to sensitize them and tell them that you are now in a school setting and this is how you can be able to survive in this environment. Teachers write their lesson notes, the school be prepared, the nurses will stock their sick bay and all that. These are forms of preparation that every school who knows its sort will be able to.
Teachers, really, the preparations on their part. Now let us look at students. We also know that students are always anxious, really, when it comes to resumption, particularly because they are going to a new class, so they don't really have idea of what it is like in that new class that they are going to. Also, those who are enrolled entirely for them, and so this anxiety is actually normal. How would you advise, really, that students, pupils should, prepare themselves and also be able to calm all of these anxieties?
What we usually do is to send a little information to the parents to do kind of home sensitization and awareness. I tell them, well, you have to be careful, this and that. If you have issues, report to this person. Don't just hold on to yourself. Don't just keep it within yourself. If they say wants to bully you or you miss anything or whatever, get your house master or the matron and get to the school authority. So this awareness we have asked that they should put in their demands of the zone, that they should not keep quiet and be sovereign in silence.
Let's go into certain issues, and I will need your take on the age limits for university admission in Nigeria, because what the ministry somewhat, if I were to interpret that, is some of the products from secondary schools are not fit enough for university admission, particularly when into universities. What's your take on this?
Well, my take on it is a welcome development, but it's coming suddenly. The minds of the parents are not prepared for it. And I just want to tell our parents that they are just too, we call them helicopter parents, flying up, and they are not enough time for the children. And they're actually letting the students to take their time to mature in education. We have what is called chronological age, or mental age. So that brings about maturity. So, but we are used to that. Somebody who is finishing university at the age of 18, 19, who finished medicine at the age of 19, 20. The maturity is not actually there. And that's why I finished from here, the parents are already calling me. There is going to be a problem, and I say, well, whatever we can do, we do it, and get across to the university. But the Ministry of Education is coming up with a kind of age restriction now to make sure that the students actually mature by the time they are full adults. By the time they come out of the university, by the time they even go in there, so that they won't need to be chased here and there to attend lectures and all that. And but we're thinking that we have started from primary school, so it can be regulated from the foundation. So this age of primary school, before it comes to secondary school, just putting it at the middle. I mean, just setting it university education that way. May not actually. Okay,
so you think those who are in secondary school already should be allowed,
yes,
regardless of their age, to gain admission?
Yes, at least it's coming up now, and it will take effect almost immediately. And that's the concern of the parents. The children's mind are already there that they are entering the university. The parents are prepared that they are entering the university, but now this thing is coming up in the middle, and so the hope is
okay. Well, maybe going forward, perhaps there will be age restriction for secondary school, education too, because at times some experts have also blamed school administrators that you allow the parents to exert that pressure on you. They want to rush these kids, and at times also give these students these words, double promotion, particularly the very brilliant ones. So maybe you see from Premier 1, because this child is very good, then to Premier 3, or from Premier 3 to Premier 5. So you see them skipping, some classes. So by the time they get to junior secondary, senior secondary school, maybe they'll be finishing secondary school education at a relatively, young age. And it's a double-barrel question. What about gifted children, the prodigious students? So should there be a waiver for them, somewhat?
Yeah, I think for those who are brilliant students, I think there are things that have to be taken to cognizance here. The first one is the age factor, which there are some exceptional cases. Some students, they look bigger than their age with challenges. Do they have emotional intelligence to be able to cope with it? So even for gifted students, I think it should cut across. As we have A level to mediate between secondary school and primary, and so like we have in some countries, that will take care of the age subset and make them to be more mature. It's very balanced. But when it has some people are taking their life, suicide, because small challenge that they will just throw them off balance. So that's why this maturity is very important. I've seen some of the private schools just say, small time, maybe boy disappoint them, it's not more my friend, or a teacher just talk to them that, why are you doing this and that? Instead of them, just take their life. They believe that they have been rejected. They believe that they can't withstand the challenge. And so that's why maturity is very important. I believe you should cut across both the gifted and the other ones. But the issue is that there should be, at the end, it will also pay those who are gifted. They can keep on excelling because they're already gifted.
I mean, why rush in the first place?
Yes.
I mean, if you can still achieve as much you want to achieve, really, even when one gains admission at age 18 and continues with life. But let us look at it generally. Let us look at the education sector. We know that there are quite a number of challenges that are emerging almost on a daily basis in our society and of course the world at large. When you look at the education sector, what changes really would you like to see in terms of the curriculum that we are actually having at the moment that you think would help students and products really better prepare for the demands of the current world, current society?
Thank you very much. My take on that would be that we should try to inculcate vocational and technical education more, because some of our Nigerians that are probably left overseas who didn't really study to degree or whatever level, they are better off there, even in terms of weaving, hairdressing, and all that. It fetches a lot of money, and it can make them to be independent. Instead of being a job looker, a job creator, and all that. So it's very important that education is not complete if people cannot translate what they are. See, a BS or BNG engineer cannot do servicing of a vehicle, cannot design well. And that's why I prefer, technical oriented like polytechnic than university education sometimes in the areas of technical oriented courses. But it means even from the secondary school or primary school, let's be creating this awareness of the relevance of business education, vocational education, technical education that can make them to be self-reliant. Even though when the society is not providing job, they can be a job creator, and that will also make us better. And there are a lot of criminals in the society now because they can't do anything. They don't have any. They feel they can't contribute to the society. Instead of it, they be stealing. Taking things from those people who already made it, and that's a danger signal. I think if we look at it and make sure that the education is structured towards promoting, business education, technical education, and vocational education, it makes us to be, self-reliant and also be creator of jobs and all that, and all these things will be.
Well, that's actually on the students. Let's also look at what you also want to see in terms of the training of the trainers. I'm talking about the teachers now, because whether you like it or not, they are also very important stakeholders in this chain of learning. As a matter of fact, some persons will say that the product of your teachers, of your trainers, will determine the quality of your trainers would actually determine.
So that like in our school, we try to employ multi-skilled workers who can teach in the class, can also have value to the school in other areas. And this is the kind of thing that we I want other principals and other schools to look into, to make sure that they also allow to go for seminars in all these areas, and also see how can be more creative and can make the students to actually be creative. Everything is not about academics or book knowledge. Sometimes the practical something is part of the software to be abreast of the current trends in the ICT and others. The way I see that is that curriculum should also be able to attend to the needs of the society. Some of these curriculum in the past were imported curriculums that do not reflect our own realities here and all that, but bookish were colonized by British, by Britain and all that. So, but now I think although we have policy inconsistency, the government comes in and change that from 6334 to 60. You can see changes, but time of consistency and trying to also really development and overall, at the end of it, like somebody who has gone to study law in Britain has to come to a law school here to be able to now acclimatize and adapt the knowledge that he has gotten from US, any European country, or Britain, to be able to practice in Nigeria, and that's the concept of the curriculum to make it relevant to our own something.
Okay, it also talks about unbundling of certain subjects like commerce into marketing, economics, into finance, and I also like to know,
so the job is not actually there, and that's why any time one goes for, one must be thinking of, in case the job is not there, is there anything I can fall back on and survive?
Now, each class is subject. Each class is subject now. Is it for all students, commercial class, arts class, science class, or just for art students alone?
Yes, science, art, and all this. Then there is government, there is history. So some may want to go for government, some may want to come for history and all that. But at the junior level, it's now being introduced. I think maybe a time they introduce more, but civic education really not too much. But I think they just want is a way to make this generation to be aware of the past, where we are coming from, and how we have come to this level where we are and all that.
Let's look at the role or the place of extra classes, really, that whatever the child is able to learn from 8 to 2 or 3 o'clock is enough. Let the child go home and rest his brain and prepare for the following day. While some also believe that, yes, there can be extra classes, probably for 2 hours, 3 hours or thereabout, after the regular and normal school academic activities. What's your thought? I mean, because I know that a lot of people...
Everything is becoming competitive. You want to study medicine, you don't have 300, you may not be able to get it. You have 280 and you may not be able to get it. And I know at the time about 10 or 20 students score 280. You can reach you that score 250. But I'm not be, they just give you another course, microbiology or chemical cases who have academic challenges. Because okay, we're not against it.
Now let's okay. Is it on this end?
Yes, on this. Okay. But summer class is always open for all students. So even during a vacation, you still expect them to come, for the summer class. And that relates to the question Dominic just asked, that are we not overloading these pupils?
Yes, now when the academics, so it's a balanced something. But when it's lopsided, it's only turning towards academics. It's not a balanced education. And that's what's making the parents not to like. But if it's a summer school that's embedded with activities outside the academics, then it's a welcome summer school something.
Now let us also look at emotional intelligence. The world would actually throw at him or her. I mean, you said that it's not just about academic brilliance. How about the emotional intelligence of the child? How the child is able to react to situations and circumstances. Now, I don't know whether Nigerian schools are big on helping the average child to build this emotional intelligence. I don't know whether you do that. But of course, for those that may be watching, really, either school owners or even parents, really, how would you really advise that this is balanced? Academic excellence and intelligence and emotional intelligence. What, in practical terms, what are some of those things that...
Education is to let them know that it's very important that emotional intelligence aspect of learning is important. A student whose parents just died some weeks to examination, WAEC and NECO, should not be left alone. They let him be quiet in a particular place, share word of God with him and all these things, and tell people that a few things like this have happened to, and they will have to survive, and also build their trust in God and all that. So this will help these children, all these children that have issues